Hey guys, and welcome to game number 38 out of 100 of my rematch against the AI-powered Scrabble BestBot. Game 37 on Monday was really interesting, and it came right down to the wire. Unfortunately, it did not go my way, so very much looking for a win today to make up for that loss. Got the blank on my first rack, which is always nice to see. I don't think I have a bingo, almost habitude, but that's an 8. So I don't think I'm going to be able to... Bingo here, probably just hub in that case for 16, keeping ADT blank. Maybe boot, actually. It's 2 more. Let's get rid of the T, which is not a bad bingo tile. But makes overlaps probably a little bit trickier because hub... Well, hub also takes the front C, which could be good for the bot. And this way, putting the B and the H next to each other makes it a little bit trickier for the bot to overlap. I think it's more defensive. I'm going to actually play this. Might be a slight equity hit, but I prefer it a little bit more. And that'll work out just fine for me. I'm going to have a lot of bingos here, including from the U. Unleaded, for instance, is an option. Unsealed, unleased. I'm sure there's some others too, but no real need to find all of them. You could also play leadens and boots if for some reason that's better or the U gets blocked. Another option that might even be worth considering right now, actually especially after a trade 3, is something like this, because it's 74. I think it's a 3-point sacrifice over unleaded, right? That's 77. Yeah, 77 I think cleaned is better. I mean, look how many floaters this gives BestBot. I mean, L, E, A, D are all really strong. It's still got the T in boot, the B. It's got the boots hook. I mean, it just traded 3. So that tells me that the bot is fairly close to bingoing. It's got 4 tiles that kept on its rack that it likes. So it's more than halfway towards a full rack of tiles it likes. I think I'm going to play cleaned. I mean, it's only 3 less. It gives just a C as a floater, along with some 9s. It doesn't make 7 super easy to play. This has to be worth it after, I mean, especially after a trade 3. Like if the bot traded 7, I'd be more maybe amenable to playing unleaded and taking the points, but after a trade 3, I am definitely going to sack the 3 here. Let's see how it works out. Okay. Couple of G's there, a couple of O's. Probably just go-go here or something like that. We'll see what BestBot does. Huh, got a bingo down anyway. Okay. Guess it wasn't going to be stopped. In that case, well, you should watch out for UN's extensions, by the way. Like unsolid, which doesn't get to the triple, so it's a bad play. But things like that could become relevant. Huh. This is awkward. Definitely want to... There's a lot of stuff here I want to get rid of. I can't put anything in front of HA. Now I'm wishing I had played Gleaned so I could play good over here, but obviously I couldn't have foreseen that in advance. Anything through the E? Gelid? That keeps goo. That's horrible. Geoid is not horrible. LOG is mediocre as far as leaves go. 18 points. There's also obviously the Starlet's hook, which I can't really do a whole lot about. I'm not going to start playing dog here, giving up a ton of equity to block. The thing is, I don't know the bot has an S. If I was, for some reason, sure the bot had an S, if I could make some inference, then I would maybe consider sacrificing a lot to play dog or maybe Giglet over here to block the Starlet's hook, but the bot just drew 7 random tiles. It might have the S, but it might also not. So I don't want to start sacrificing tons of equity to block something that may or may not be a threat. My lead is not that large. Also, if I were up another 100 points, maybe I'd play dog, but I'm barely up here. So yeah, Geoid is, I think, fine. I mean, I could play Google, I guess. It's 8 fewer points. It also gives back a scoring spot. I don't think I like that. I think Geoid's better. Yeah, it's not very exciting, don't get me wrong. But I think it's the best of a lot of extremely mediocre options. Yeah, let's go for it. Well, if you're going to draw like that, then you can get away with a lot. That is about as good a draw as I could ask for. Longers. Draw ENRS to a rack of LOG. That'll make a not-so-good leave look great. So yeah, longers and starlets, obviously the play if it stays open. Next best option is actually probably an 8, re-soling through the eye of geoid. Then there's also, of course, longers and geoids, but that doesn't score as much. And now, I probably am going to play it with buys. So there's 2 openings now in the triple. There's starlets and buys. So that's 93. I mean, it's number one, it's a lot more points there, right? 93 versus 85. 8 points is a bit... The bot isn't guaranteed to have an E after biz, but it's probably somewhat likely to. It may or may not have had an S. But I feel like if it had an S, it often has a big play on the bottom it just takes. Like, biz definitely makes me think it's more likely to have an E than an S. Also, there's 8 E's left and only 2 S's. So even aside from the point difference, this is a better place. Especially with it being 8 more points. Definitely better to go here. Let's do it. Okay, Riverman or Rivermen with an A or an E. Almost River Bend through the BE. That would be pretty cool. Assuming that's actually good. I'm not actually... I think River Bend is good, but I'm not positive. Bot plays Oath. And okay. Still can't really do a whole lot about starlets. Try to play Vermin somewhere, maybe? Huh. There is not a lot of options here. Something with Rogue? Minor? Keeping RV? It's not great. River? And that takes a D. I'm not really dying to do that. Yeah, that driver hook could be really annoying to deal with. I'm also not really dying to play Vimen, which is nice and defensive, but it keeps 2 R's. Maybe Virid? It's the best sleeve of anything we've seen so far. It's only 13 points. Huh. Virid or Minor, I think, are the 2 best options I've seen. I guess there's also Vire, but I'm not dying to... Yeah, at that point, I'd rather play Virid. The E has got to be worth 4 points to keep versus just M and R. That's a little bit dicey. Tough turn. There's just not anything good. I guess I could also play Riven for 14. That's another option, keeping MR. Does take out a bingo line. Gives back some scoring plays, though, if the bot has an E. It's not crazy. Very interesting turn. I do like playing more tiles to go for turnover for the S's. So that's leading me towards Riven or Minor. Minor's definitely the most points, 23. RV is not great as a leave. It's not horrendous, but it's definitely not great. Riven is 14. It's 9 less. It's a lot less. Does stop a decent number of bingos, which is an advantage. It keeps an M instead of a V, which is another advantage. It does give back scoring plays on the right, which is a bit of a disadvantage. So, yeah, just a bunch of options here that are really not good. Maybe Virl, too, instead of Virid. It's only 11? Nah, that's just... It's too early to start making plays like that, I think. I think I want to play 5 tiles here and go for the S's. So I'm between Riven and Minor. Yeah, this is a tough one. Not really sure what I like best. I guess Minor does give back Probe, potentially, which could be annoying. I mean, Riven is a lot better defensively, like significantly better, and I do have a lead. I think it's reasonable. Feels weird to score only 14 with this rack, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Well, there we go. We got the S, so that validates my decision to play more tiles, and we will see what the bot responds with. And the bot plays Love. By the way, I would like to make a correction, guys, from a couple of turns ago. I was talking about Riverbend as a possibility. That is actually not a word. Somewhat surprisingly, riverbed is a word, but Riverbend not actually valid. So I guess a riverbend is an oxbow, but riverbend itself not a word. So interesting. But anyway, we move on to our next turn. I think humps and starlets has got to be the play. I mean, it's 44. Takes out that hook. There's still another S and a blank left. I don't think I want to get greedy here and try to hit a bingo. I think I should just take my 44, increase my lead to over 100, and move on here. This, I think, has to be better. And I draw Coward, which is probably not going to play, but still notable. Although I do have Crowed for 53 in the corner, which is pretty solid if that stays open. Definitely drawing pretty well this game. Yeah, the Longers pull was really lucky. Drawing the S after Riven was certainly nice too. But this game is not over yet. We know that BestBot is not going to go down without a fight, that's for sure, if we know anything about this bot. I generally like the way the board is shaping, though. The left is becoming fairly hard to access. There is one L left to hook Loaf, but it's not that easy. I'm also thinking about the bot could maybe play something with Dobe, setting up Adobe. That's something to keep in mind. Like, I was thinking myself, I probably don't want to play Cowed here if Crowd gets blocked because of the Adobe hook. And the bot plays It for 15. I did forget about Thumps, but I don't think that would have changed my decision to play Humps there. Writ and DI are not words, at least in this lexicon, so Coward still not going to fit. I mean, I just don't think it's worth it to play Crowed here for 34. I'm giving up so many. I mean, this is 19 more points. Like, that's just too many to give up. Yeah, I mean, the bot could also end up playing something big on the top right. I gotta just take this. It's way too many. There's also the S-hook for Loves the bot could have. Like, there's enough places for it to still go. I think you gotta take the 53 points. Even if the bot bingoes here, I'm still in great shape. And if the bot does happen to not bingo, then I'll definitely try to play something over here, like Neatly, for instance. And, okay, Keytar comes down immediately. So, did the bot draw a KY? Wow, I can't see it keeping a K or a Y, so I imagine the bot drew KY on its rack, or on its two-tile pool. Interesting. Not exactly fortunate if you're the bot, but it does get a nice play there. Keytar, a new addition to the dictionary as of earlier this year. I mean, Neatly looks like a fantastic play. I like playing a lot of tiles when I have a lead, just to accelerate the game. I like scoring well, I like blocking. The one concern is it's a vowel-heavy pool, 17 vowels, 15 consonants, so keeping just an E could maybe land me in some trouble with vowels. So if I could play a 5 here and sacrifice 2 points to keep a constant, that's probably sensible. But how do I even do that? I mean, I don't want to sacrifice a ton of points. Like, I don't want to start playing Yenta here. Not double the Y. I'm giving up too much. It might actually not be possible. Yeah, I mean, I'd want to probably keep EL, EN, or ET, and I don't think I can play any 5s that double the Y if I do that. So I think Neatly it is, and we just hope we don't get a horrible draw. Well, we kind of did. I mean, the good thing is at least I have the D, so I'll maybe be able to play Idea or Aid. Yeah, I totally saw this coming, too. I absolutely saw this coming. I have a very nice play of Idea right here for 28, and Parousia comes down. So bot's getting a little closer. Huh. See, the problem with Idea is it sets up Ski. And there is an S left and a ton of high pointers. This could end very poorly if I do that. That's scary. Another play that is also scary, but we're thinking about is Aodine for 18. To me, this is a little less scary because, I mean, the problem with Idea is, like, this S-hook is just such a nightmare to block. Like, I'm probably going to have to play something in front of ED for, like, 6 if I ever want to block that. Assuming I even get a tile that goes there. Like, I don't want to create, when I have this kind of lead, that kind of long-term liability. And now there is still the possibility of plays with OK there, but it's a little bit harder, especially with this pool. Like, high point tiles like this, a lot of bingos with them are going to be 6s plus an S at the end. It's just so much easier if you can end in an S. And like the nice thing about Aodine is it doesn't actually allow ending in an S. It also plays off another vowel, which is good. I think this is reasonable. Yeah, I'm liking this much more than Idea. It is an 11-point sacrifice, but it's so much safer. What does it leave? 8 in the bag, okay. Leaving 8 in the bag also seems a little bit better than leaving 9. So that if the bot somehow does bingo, there's 1 in the bag instead of 2, which will be an easier situation for me. I mean, the bot is not likely to bingo with that pool, let's be clear. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Aodine. Okay. I get the O, which is good for okay. And Amigo comes down. Huh, setting up an X, perhaps? Maybe? I mean, this is jumping out immediately to me. Because I could actually lose, maybe. I need to do the math, but I think it's conceivable I lose if I do something like this. I draw the Q, and then the bot plays like 4X and Axe. That would be a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's like 90. I might hold on, but I'm not positive. I think this is just better. I mean, it's going to be tough for the bot to bingo. If not almost impossible. I guess foresaw would really sting. Yeah, I mean, foresaw would really suck on the left. That would be over 100. Although if the bot draws the Q after that, it probably loses, because then I think it's stuck. It's pretty unlikely that I'm going to play Ahi, draw the Q, and the bot plays for Saw. That's really unlikely. But yeah, if the bot draws the Q after Foresaw loses, I can block the only Q spot with Aodine. Although, actually, Ahi would give back another Q spot, now that I think of it. So yeah, Foresaw would leave Q and X in the bag. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot, Foresaw. I'm just wondering if I should block it. See, the problem, though, is if I block it, I mean, Foresaw is a lot, but, I mean, I just worry, like I said, if I play Join or something, empty the bag. Also, if I empty the bag and the bot bingo's out anywhere else, I mean, are we certain there's no other possible bingo that might play here? I mean, Fawners doesn't look like it's going to play. I don't know. Does this really never lose to something like, I mean, this feels dicey. If I draw the Q, like, let's say, so it has, like, re-wax and then, I don't know, OS or something, right? Like, if I draw QFN, surely I'm losing. Like, I go up 86, re-wax is 162, 85, right? 162, no, 87. So I'm actually down 1. The bot has OS. I have CEIFQ. I mean, I'm going to have to play Chief for 26. Yeah, I lose. No, this just loses in the endgame too much. I mean, I think I have to just pray that I don't draw, like, Q and X, or that the bot doesn't have Foresaw. It's 1 in 120. I also think the bot is somewhat likely to have the X with this, which is a good thing for me, because it wouldn't have that. Like, see, you have to be careful in these situations, guys. Like, it's natural to think, oh, it could have Foresaw for 100 whatever. 108, it looks like, which is scary, but, like, you have to realize if you block it, you might be sacrificing even more win percentage, because then it can beat you with a big X play if you draw the Q. So, I think Ahi is the way to go. I really do. Alright. That's a good draw, because foresaw is not in the pool. Normally, I'm not too happy about QW as a draw, but in this particular case, I think it's just fine. I also knew that I had an I, so I was definitely not going to get stuck with the Q if I drew it. I wonder if we're going to see the bot fish for foresaw here, although if it does, it probably can't really open up a new line. I can't imagine there's going to be any sort of X setups that are reasonable enough to play here. I think, unless I'm really missing something, I think the bot is lost. I guess I also should have been a little bit mindful of plays like... almost 4x actually almost plays down the A column, as does Rewax. But thankfully OA and EA are not words. Yeah, like Carex, if the bot had had a C, could be very scary. I wonder if it's going to fish for that, although I have the C, so that was not something I had to worry about, but just something to keep in mind. I didn't actually think about that. His plays there could score a mammoth amount as well. Like, if the bot could have played that, that would have been close to 100 also. Yeah, I would not be surprised if Amigo did keep the X, but we will find out soon enough. But in any case, it's not over, but I'm feeling pretty good about my prospects of winning this game. I mean, the bot has the upper hand in terms of rack by far going into the end game. I mean, it's got the X, the S probably, and I've got CQW, but I'm up 77 points. That's just a little bit too much, I believe, to make up. Because I'm like I said, going to be able to play this Q. I mean, I've got Chi here for 26. I can play Chi here. There's options. There's plenty of options. And all of them can't be blocked. I mean, the bot's going to need, like, close to 80 points in 2 turns. Which feels like it's going to be pretty tough for it to get. Unless I can somehow play, like, Freons and then score a lot with Axe? I don't know. I mean, Freons and Axe here is actually a bit. Like, if it plays Axe, I mean, that's still probably not quite enough. But it might get the bot closer than you think. I could also drop the Q here to block Axe. And it probably doesn't have a big enough alternative spot. It does have the corner. Yeah, I mean, how many is Freons? 35. Yeah, I mean, the bot is still... it's just not enough. I mean, the bot is still down 42. I dropped the Q for 21. It's down 63. It's going to need 41. It's not getting it. Like, it might be able to get this within 10 or 15, which is kind of shocking, given I'm down 77. All right, Fox is the play. Keeping AENRS. Okay, so I assume I just play Chi. I mean, right? Yeah, I just don't see how the bot's going to be getting 30 plus points with AENRS here. It just does not feel possible. This has to be fine. Yeah, and the bot might not go out here. It can go out with Arsine through the I. That's not nearly enough points to win. Or Saner and Loves. I mean, yeah, Arsine... oh, it does decide to go out. Yeah, it's going to still lose by 20 or so. All right, 413, 390. I win. Big win here, guys. Definitely needed that one badly. It was a good game, too. Pretty shocking that the bot made it that close without bingoing towards the end. That's it actually is quite shocking, but just goes to show you got to keep the scoring pressure on, because if your opponent gets the high-scoring tiles, they might be able to make up a lot of ground even without a bingo. But all right, let's do some analysis here. Yeah, boot looks fine over hub. Bot trades, I agree with that. Yeah, equity likes mules, but it's early in the game. You want a bingo. You don't want to hold on to that Q. LEST is a great leave. Yep, like I said, many plays for 77, but I stand by this, especially after a trade. Bot plays Starlet here for 72. Yeah, this is pretty scary. Just gives back a ton of counterplay. If I have an H, an F, an M, a W, many things. Although Startle here, I would have maybe gone for this. I mean, this still introduces some volatility with the startle hooks, but doesn't give back that scary an S hook. Maybe the bot just really felt it was down here and it wanted the increased volatility. Interesting to see it go for Starlet here. I would have probably played Startle, but bot likes taking its chances sometimes. Yeah, I saw this. I did not want to put a G there. I didn't feel like there was a compelling reason to. I mean, GLO is not a horrible leave. I'm not here to say it's great, but it's not horrible. I guess I could play maybe Go-Go here or Doggo. I guess that's also fine. I kind of like blocking the E on the bottom. I'm fine with Geoid. I think everything is mediocre. So the bot did not have an E here, which is interesting, but there's just not a lot of good other options. Zibet, yeah, keeps FB, which is rough. Yeah, the bot's just not wanting to play scared here, interestingly, even with 9 E's left, figuring maybe it needs to distract me there, and then they can try to draw an S for Starlets. I don't know, it worked out well for me, though. Yeah, the bot is drawing very badly in the early stages of this game. Oaf keeping UVI, yuck. And then, yeah, this turn was tough, so Riven is way down in equity. I didn't want to play River with 2 Ds. Maybe I'm playing too scared, but, like, the difference is I'm up. The bot is down. Like, I think I can afford to play a little scared here. I don't want to create this D-hook that's going to become a nightmare to deal with later on. Minor, I think, is reasonable. I don't hate it. I just had to play a bit defensively here, giving up 9 points, but I do keep a much better leave, and I stop a lot of 7s. So I think this is honestly fine. Wow. That looks so bad. I mean, Tuck It to me looks better. You open a line for 7s above the T. I mean, IV is not great, but, like, EIKTT, what are you... I don't know. I mean, you're trying to draw kittens and starlets, like, kitties? Sure, it could happen. It's pretty unlikely. I don't think you're that desperate. You're only down 80. Yeah, this is a weird play. I mean, I guess you hit, like, Trike a bit on the top right, maybe? For 44? Is that possibility enough to justify not playing Tuck It and turning over some more tiles for an S and opening another line? I like Tuck It here, personally. I think that's what I would have done, but I'm sure the bot had its reasons. Interesting play. I guess I could do umphs. With an X out, though, I think I'm fine with humps. Although, yeah, I do give back those hooks with thumps and chumps, which I didn't really think about. So there is some merit to this, but I still think not giving back the X spot is a pretty good reason to play this. And the bot does draw a blank. Yeah, I mean, what do you do here? So it just played it. Because Kit just blocks the line too much. Wow. 8 for 15. I just don't like keeping the K. Like, you need to bingo quickly. Thumps is pretty cool. I mean, I get wanting to open a new line. How about T here, setting up an S for steak? And keeping the T for thumps? Like, this to me looks better. Or even, I mean, yeah, even something like ICAT here, maybe? Or here, still keeping thumps? I don't mind T here, honestly. I mean, you set up steak, you keep thumps. I don't think you want to keep a K here. I mean, sure, if you bingo, your bingos will score a little more. But the K is pretty bad for bingoing. And as we saw, like, it significantly reduces your bingo percentage. I don't like this play. BestBot's making a lot of plays I don't like. I would have played T here. I would have played Tuck It on the last turn. Yeah, I don't know. Crowd looks fine. Yep, Keytar has to be correct. Yeah, I think I like neatly. I don't really want to do this. It's more important. I don't want to fish when I'm ahead. I'd rather score and block. Perousey only bingo. And then, yeah, idea definitely better on equity. It's 10 more points. Like I said, though, I hate creating hooks, like especially when I'm ahead. Like, I hate with a passion creating hooks that are powerful and also really annoying to block. Like, it's not impossible to block, like I said, but I basically have to waste a turn playing something like Fed for 7 to block it in a lot of cases, which is very annoying. And that just gives the bot flexibility to score or open some other lines, and it's just not something, it's not a line you want to go down, I don't think, when you have a lead. I don't need to. See, the nice thing about this opening, which it does create an opening, but it's just so much easier for me to block, right? Like, it's so easy for me to play down the A column. It just works more naturally for me to block. Diane is another option, but I'd rather turn over another tile, get rid of another vowel. I guess this also isn't crazy, now that I think of it. This is a little bit more safe. But like I said, I don't actually think this lane is that risky. There aren't that many letters that are good for ending bingos that go in front of AE. Like the N maybe, ING doesn't fit, S doesn't fit anywhere. It's not as scary as it might look, I think. It's a kind of scary looking play, but I'm fine with it. Ide is also reasonable, honestly, but I think this is okay. And, oh, so the bot didn't have the X. Interesting. Oh, how about well, this looks like a good play, though. How about going for Sago? This looks great. What's wrong with Fog? I mean, does this really work that often? Really? I mean, if I have the X, it's just dead. Even if it draws the X, like, I'm gonna block that a lot. See, here's the problem. If the bot draws the X, it's not bingoing, and I'm probably gonna block that. And if it doesn't draw the X, then I probably have it, or I'm gonna get it. I don't know. I think this assumes I'm maybe gonna like empty the bag also more than I will. This seems to me to be assuming I'm gonna play in a way I'm probably not gonna play realistically. I mean, if you draw the X, what are you hoping for? Like 4 X's down the E column refixes? That's pretty unlikely to me. If you play Fog, I mean, if you draw the S, like there's a bunch of stuff you could hit there, like Marines, for instance. You won't even have another turn to fish because I doubt I'm going to empty the bag. I mean, Marinas, there's got to be some other... Maybe there's not as much as I think. Romagis would be a ton if you draw OJS. There's got to be some other semi-raw. That doesn't fit. So there's not a ton you can draw immediately, probably. But, I mean, I don't know. To me, this is a better effort than Amigo. I just don't see how that opening stays open with the X, if that's what it's going for. Yeah, I don't like that play either. I mean, I'm not BestBot, I don't know, but I like Fog here. I would have definitely played Fog. Yeah, I think Ahi here looks good. Join, like I said, could run into some issues, I think. I'm curious to run Macondo and see how often Join actually loses. I know in some cases 4X or Rewax will win, but I'm curious to see just how often. Alrighty guys, so I ran this through Macondo, and no surprise, Join does of course win the vast majority of the time, but as I surmised during the game, it does indeed lose in a couple of situations. Specifically, it will lose with 3 different 3-tile draws I might get out of the bag. It will lose if I draw NOQ, it'll lose if I draw NQS, and it'll also lose if I draw FNQ. It will tie, apparently, if I draw FOQ, so that is 3 losses and 1 tie out of 120 or 10 choose 3 possible draws, so that is a pretty good win rate. But Ahi is better because Foresaw, as I surmised, is indeed the only playable bingo after Ahi. There is no way, at least I can't imagine, I didn't run Macondo exhaustively, but I just can't imagine there's any way that BestBot wins this without bingoing. Foresaw's the only possible bingo. That happens 1 out of 120, so Ahi does indeed appear to be the correct play here. Glad I got this one right. And then, yeah, here, the bot... I guess there's probably just no way to try to win this, right? I mean, yeah, this I can't imagine ever wins. I mean, maybe if it draws the I could have headaches. Yeah, I wonder if it draws the I, because then I don't have a whole lot I can do with the Q. That could maybe make things interesting. Probably would have to play Cade to the ID on the right. But it looks like that would still be enough for me to win. Macondo indeed confirms that even if BestBot draws the I after Fox, I will be able to win the game. So it doesn't look like Fox ever wins for BestBot. I'm guessing that there simply just wasn't anything here that ever wins. There's no bingo it can fish for that I'm going to not be able to block. And there's just no way for it to make up 77 points. So Fox seems reasonable enough. She looks right here and the bot goes out. So yeah, pretty well played game overall, I think, by... me, BestBot, with, I think, more strange-looking plays than I made this game. Love was very strange to me. I didn't really like that decision at all for the bot. It was also very strange. I guess those two were the biggest ones I really didn't personally agree with. Not, of course, to say that they were wrong, just a bit counterintuitive. But in any case, glad this one worked out. Another interesting game. So 2 very interesting games this week. A split. BestBot gets the one on Monday. I get the one today. But in any case, hope you guys found this one interesting and enjoyed it. Thanks so much as always for watching. Really appreciate your support. And I will see you all for the next BestBot game on Monday, but of course multiple videos to be on my channel before then. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.